alhamdulillah, we're of shirk, but we also have to be careful of these other kinds of kufr, that we don't commit them, and if we see anyone else committing them, it is an obligation upon us to advise them. The Prophet ﷺ said, ad-deen al-nasiha, that the deen, the religion, is sincere advice and sincerity to Allah and to His book and to His messenger and the leader of the Muslims and the general Muslim populace. So when we see someone committing an action which is kufr, we should take them aside and sincerely talk to them and say, dear brother or sister, you have to be aware of how grave that action is. For such and such reasons, it is kufr, and if you don't change your ways, even if you pray and fast, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may treat you as a kafir on the day of judgment. وأقول لكم هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Is there any short, quick question that I could handle on my way to the airport?
That's not necessarily a question. That is a question. When you mentioned those sisters making jokes, sisters making fun of jokes about their sister's dress, and I guess how would you deal with individuals like that when they say they're Muslims? And I don't know, I guess that's the hard part, is more or less people say giving dawah to Muslims. How do you begin? I mean, how, without, I don't know, I guess how do you deal with it? How do you handle it? How do you go about it?
The way that I approach it is the same way that I commented upon it in this lecture. To tell them clearly that, look, we are Muslims. We're both Muslims, alhamdulillah. And as Muslims, we should believe in, and we should love, and we should respect the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to do. I mean, this is clear, that we claim to be Muslims. We have to love Allah, we have to love the things He commanded, and we have to show respect for the things He commanded. And you don't just tell them, look, this is wrong what you're doing, but make them understand the actions that they're doing towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That they are actually making fun and showing disrespect for something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves or has commanded. And then finally show them the proof that actually this is kufr, and we have to stop it. And then inshallah, if the sister has some iman in her heart, this kind of thought, this kind of evidence will inshallah affect her such that she will do her best to stop that kind of behavior.
You mentioned two terms just very quickly. You were saying that one of the reasons that there's a lack of knowledge amongst some Muslims, and that they have shubuhat and shahawat. Could you just, for those who may not know the term?
Shubuhat and shahawat, I talked about that on Friday night. Now, ilm or knowledge can remove these two, shubuhat and shahawat. Shubuhat are doubts and misconceptions that the shaitan brings to you, making you doubt about Islam, making you doubt, for example, about the Quran or the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is shubahat, doubts that come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, doubts that come from the shaitan towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Islam and so forth. The shahawat are the desires that someone has. Even if he knows something is wrong and it's disliked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in his nafs he might have some desire to enjoy that thing. This is known as shahawat. And ilm is one of the best ways to remove the shahawat, because it is through ilm or through knowledge that you understand that the small pleasure that you might get from that haram is nothing compared to the displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the punishment that you have to face when meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why those people who do sinful acts are called by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as juhal, as people who are people of ignorance. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا التَّوْبَةُ عَلَى اللَّهِ لِلَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ السُّوءَ بِجَهَالَةٍ. That tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn to those people who do acts of evil out of jihala. And some people that translate jihala as ignorance here, doesn't mean ignorance that they didn't know that thing is wrong or right, but it means ignorance from the Islamic point of view that they were stupid in what they did. It's stupid to do something haram and to displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if they make tawbah from that before it's too late, يتوبون من قريب, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept their tawbah.
Alright, that is no bakata. You mentioned a group, inshallah, one of the groups that have some of the beliefs, particularly the belief that some people are exempt from the Sharia, and there's some other beliefs that they have, I believe, such as praying to dead saints or even to the Prophet amongst the Sufis. Now, are there some amongst them who are within the bounds of the Sharia that the people would not necessarily consider in the same category?
If you study the Sufi talk, or the different Sufi tariqas, what I've been able to find, and I've studied a number of them in detail from their own sources, from their own references, is that you will find some among the Sufi people, for example, someone might join a Sufi tariqah, and he himself, he will not have beliefs which are kufr. But by joining that Sufi tariqah, inside the Sufi tariqah, they will do some actions which are bid'ah, like some actions of dhikr and so forth, but he himself may not have any belief which is kufr.